And it looks like we are live. At least I think we're live. I can't tell, there's an ad in the way. But, at any rate, welcome back everybody to another Tuesday stream. It's Tuesday, isn't it? It's me,
Tuesday.
and Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hello.
It's just us this weekend. Storm was busy. He had to go see a horse about a man. And hopefully we're back with better internet connection this time. I apologize for last week. I don't know what was going on with my wireless, but we have replaced our ancient router, so hopefully that means that the connection will be better, not just in this stream, but in the future. We'll see.
Yay.
Anyway, since the past 2 weeks have not been me streaming, I just feel like doing dumb weird stuff today, so that's what we're going to do. Hopefully I can actually
weird
do
stuff away.
I'm currently dealing with a cat by me, and I'm very concerned he's going to accidentally reset my computer. Pudding, you are not allowed to go on top of the tower. Alright, do some warming up. Didn't really have anything in particular in mind today. I was actually going to work on a project, but I decided, what the hell, let's get stupid.
That'd be stupid. That'd
be stupid. I'm gonna say that's like the theme, one of our theme songs. Unfortunately, we cannot play Weird Al. This don't think
my cat really wants me to pet her. She's like,
oh yeah, no, Pudding
literally like that.
I got home from work and Pudding was chirping at me for stuff here. Also, is chat? Hold on, let me refresh the stream on my end, just because chat was not catching up. Weird. It's Can you see chat on your end, Andy?
Yes.
Okay, because for some reason on my end it's showing it from the previous stream, and I don't know
I mean, I
why.
do see it for the previous stream. I see like Winter CK and Night Owl and Digiman and Lord.
Okay, so it's not just a me thing. It's weird.
Is anyone in chat there? Are we alone? Says there's 10 of you.
Wait, let me Oh,
it's okay. You can speak.
Okay, there are weird. I'm so used to the stream being empty by the time I open up the Twitch.
Yeah.
So okay, that must be a new thing they did because I don't remember it. Anyway, back to drawing Mushroom Man. I'm not sure what this is. I had an idea for an alien in my head. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do it differently. Actually, kind of reminds me of an alien I drew a while ago. You working on anything, Andy?
I'm thinking that maybe I should try switching over to Krita, like you are.
Oh, Krita. I use Clip Studio, but Krita's good too. I definitely recommend it if you want a good free drawing program. Also, hold on.
I've been using Paint.net so far. I just got to get the correct resolution for everybody, because
I mean, the main thing is you want 300 DPI or bigger for your resolution when it comes to what you're doing.
Or canvas size.
Oh, canvas size, that's an easy enough thing. I'd just go like paper size. I mean, this one I have now was actually the YouTube thumbnail size times 2, so it's basically a double YouTube thumbnail size. And I oversized it on purpose so it had better resolution.
Yeah. Because I remember Whacker said he wanted like a better resolution of the "We'll Be Right Back" picture.
Yeah, that is a good one. I wouldn't mind seeing better resolution of that myself.
I think he said like 720 was good.
Well, if he's talking resolution, I don't know if you need to go that big with it. I think the main thing largely has to do with the size that you do it at, but that's just from my own personal experience with, my background in graphic design and art and such. But if the larger resolution... Well, actually, now that I think about it, because really, resolution is one thing, but also the size of your picture will matter,
Well, I mean, I don't want the digital lines to come out too much, because, you know how sometimes when you draw like a diagonal line and it kind of does that steeple effect where it's like...
Yeah.
Instead of a solid line, it looks like several lines that are kind of like at an angle.
I think I get what you're saying.
I don't like that.
Like if I zoomed in here, you could
see
that.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah, the pixelation.
Well, it's funny you say that, because actually I am using a textured pen tool, so I do kind of want a little bit of that on mine. But I get what you're saying. You want it to be a good resolution. You don't want it to look pixelated. And
yeah,
that's a good idea. It definitely helps to have your art, or honestly just any image, be at a good resolution. Because I cannot tell you, this is more just a me thing, but if I see a business that has a very obviously shitty resolution logo or anything, I don't want to go to that business, just because it's like that's an important detail when it comes to a company or...
Well, if some people are going to start using some of my artwork, I like, that's the reason I don't want to say, why, because obviously see pixelation, I don't like it.
Oh yeah, 100%, I get you there. I mean, sometimes it can be its own kind of styling. I guess it really depends how you spin it, but it doesn't sound like that's what you're going for, so yeah. How is chat doing today? I'm hoping well. I still only see UNC saying hi. Or saying that chat is not here, so I guess you guys are a figment of my imagination.
There's 14 people watching.
Yeah. It's 14 people that I'm used to. Or that I'm... More than I'm used to when I'm working on stuff, so hey, welcome. Hi, Pudding. My cat's name is Pudding. He's meowing at me for his dinner, even though he knows he gets fed when my wife gets home.
Mine is...
Although, to be fair, I did feed him yesterday because he wouldn't stop meowing at me.
Mine wants me to rub her belly just constantly rub her belly. Isn't that right, Tiger?
Oh, that's my
she
other
goes,
Yeah, they were both chirping at me when I got home for pets and probably food. Or at least I know Pudding wants food. Don't you, buddy?
My aunt, she's house sitting for my uncle, and she's named the cat Meringue. He just called it like Pussycat or something, but she's like renamed it Meringue because when she comes in, he's like Meringue, Meringue, Meringue.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Like meringue.
Yeah, I get you. I can see my wife renaming a cat to Meringue is a good cat name, so. Now, while I'm working on this does give me a thought. What do you think a good, like, what makes a good alien design as, like, a creature?
It has to be... I mean, it's kind of weird how, like, all of our aliens are pretty much humanoid.
Yeah.
It's like the Star Trek, like, take a human body and put like a head on it and like, I don't know, throw some frills on the forehead or something.
Yeah, I'd say that's more specific a Trek thing, but in terms of like aliens always being like bipeds or just like, yeah.
Mass Effect did a decent job. Like some of their aliens were actually like non-humanoid, but the problem is like artistically, that's the problem with like, artistically. Some aliens, people won't associate with an alien that doesn't look like them, in a weird way. Like,
I would say that depends. I think, part of it is, it is a lot to kind of create a whole new form for a creature. So I guess I could kind of understand that sort of it. And maybe there is something to the whole like association things, and I mean in Mass Effect 2 they also wanted to make the aliens bangable, so there's that. But
oh yeah, hey man, if you've watched Galaxy Quest, some people take kindly to the tentacle monster.
Yeah, Archon's right. It does take a lot more money to make a
That's
CGI
true.
alien or something versus a human. And in, in a TV show, I can totally see that because you're working on a limited budget. And there's been shows that have done, aliens in an interesting way, but
Farscape did a few. One of my favorite scenes is like there's this giant just monster that looked like a giant head with like small piranha teeth. And he's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "That's a merchant."
Yeah. Also, to Doctor Who's credit, I don't really watch it, but they do have a lot of good alien designs in that from what I have seen of it. Hi, honey. My wife loves Doctor Who, so...
I haven't watched a lot of Doctor Who. From what I've seen, most of them are humanoid. Farscape,
to some extent, yeah. Maybe in later... you know what?
Mass
That's
Effect.
honestly in later seasons you see that.
Mass Effect had that hyper-religious like squid faction that was like, oh, the old
the
ones.
Hanar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to video games, I don't think the budget thing is necessarily a good excuse. Maybe if it's like a more realistic game where you need the modeling and stuff of it moving, I can kind of sort of see that. But in art and other media besides like a live action show, I think.
Well,
that
did you
there's
know
ways
in
to
Monsters
kinda-
Inc. Sully was going to have like a massive tentacles for feet, and they were working on
Yeah.
like getting an algorithm so that when he walked but then they just thought it was too much, like it drew too much attention away from the character, so they dropped it. But they did
Yeah,
have characters in the background that did have the tentacle legs.
Yeah. I just, I kind of like seeing the more Lovecraftian or just really bizarre looking alien creatures.
Let's see. The aliens in World of Worlds, I think, were like giant heads with beaks and a massive tentacles.
Which War of the Worlds?
Well, both the movies had them somewhat humanoid. Whereas in the book, I think they were like more like squid people or octopus people.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm glad you only said 2 because I didn't want to. I don't want to talk about the Ice Cube quarantine-made War of the Worlds.
Well, there's to be honest, there's probably a whole bunch of them. I'm talking about the 2 big ones. The one from like the 50s or the 30s, and then the one with Tom Cruise in it, because Tom Cruise has to be in every fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but yeah, yeah.
Here, I'll draw an alien. I don't know why I'm sitting alone. Let me draw an alien real quick.
You know what? I will draw an alien as well. After this, I'm going to draw something more.
You're drawing an alien.
Well, I mean, I'll draw another alien. I'll draw something weirder looking. It's actually one of my more favorite alien species. Is the aliens from Independence Day. I really like the look of those guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were humanoid, but they also, they had the biosuits. Like,
that was.
I don't think we had much of an idea concept before then, but yeah, they had like biological power armor, basically.
Yeah, and they also had like the sort of bioorganic looking spaceships and stuff.
Yeah.
Another one I really like is the Combine from Half-Life, which is more just an amalgamation of Yeah, there is that good point to it where the reason that we do only think of bipedal life forms is because that's how we understand intelligent life.
Yeah.
At least in the common sort of... Like, I mean, when you think of creatures or aliens, I mean, most of the time people probably think of, like, greys. At least I will.
I saw one of those, what do we call it? Like, well, Humanity Fuck Yeah posts, but it was like, we made contact with aliens, but it was like kind of depressing because we can't ever actually like touch them. Like, there has to be so many layers. It's basically like the best we could ever do is like gloved hand meets gloved hand, because like our atmosphere would set them on fire, and like, their atmosphere would cause us to freeze to death or like shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Volus from Mass
It's like
Effect.
they drink like nitrogen or something.
Something bizarre, yeah. Yeah, that's just a fun thing where it's like, when it comes to alien life as it actually would be, it's like, you really can't guess any sort of specifics, you know?
Well, I was one of the people that had I didn't throw an actual fit, but I was really upset when they, in the Prometheus movie where they started taking their helmets off.
Oh yeah, on the alien planet. It's like, yes, let's take our helmets off on the... Not only just on the alien planet that definitely does not look like it's habitable in any sort of way, also inside the ruins where there's definitely like weird biological shit and dead creatures. You know, God, that movie is so stupid. And I saw it in theaters, and I'm saying that. I mean, visually it looked nice, but it's also.
I mean, to be honest, there's supposed to be a level of like suspended
Hello,
disbelief. Like you're not really supposed to put too much thought into it.
I suppose not, but the thing to consider is that it's supposed to be a prequel for Alien, and I don't get that from that movie until like the very end when it's like, oh, you sort of see the alien that kind of looks like the xenomorph. But other than that, it's just like dumb fucks die on a planet, the movie.
To be honest, I don't know how well known the xenomorph is, like, to the greater public. Like, I would think Weyland Yutani would do their best to keep that shit secret. So, like, if, like, even after, like, the initial one, like, if a normal person saw it, they'd be like, what the hell is that?
I believe in the comics they were kind of more commonly known, at least after a certain point, because... I never read them myself, but from what I understand about the Alien comics, they definitely get into a lot more of the lore, especially like the whole Alien versus Predator thing. I mean, shit. Eventually, the one thing I did see in the comics that I thought was interesting is they eventually come up with a way to fight the xenomorphs that is essentially you drug a dude the fuck up on combat stims, put him in a mech suit, and then just like turn him loose. Just cyborg berserkers, which that'll do it. I think the real thing that's probably like that in Alien is because, despite what happens in Aliens, if the general public knew more about the xenomorphs, then they would probably be not a problem because they'd be stamped out pretty quickly.
Part of them where they like lay their eggs inside you and you chest birth. That's like one of the most disturbing things. Like, no, I don't want to go to space.
Yeah, but that's also a problem that's easily remedied by a pulse rifle. If you get, unless it gets the drop on you, but... Yeah, exactly. Like, they find an alien egg and it's like, alright, we're gonna nuke the city. The problem is that you got Weyland Yutani who's like, even though every attempt they have tried has failed, it's just like, oh, we can make it into a weapon. It's like, yes, good luck controlling that. I think the alien would have been more terrifying if they would have gone with the original way that they wanted it to reproduce. Because originally it was not going to be like an alien queen. It apparently was going to be something where like you'd stick people in the walls, like they normally do, but rather
they'd like become eggs.
Yeah, they'd like melt down their because it was supposed to be like hinted at that it was some kind of bioweapon.
Yeah, they had that, like they cut that out of the original series where like some of them were turning into eggs, which they kind of did that in Pod People, I think.
I suppose. I think that idea is pretty interesting, because then that just is like, well, fuck, if that's a bioweapon, who the hell made it?
I think in the original series, they just evolved like that. They had like their own predators and all that. They even have like other aliens. There's like the red and the black aliens, and they're kind of like army ants. Like there's red ants and there's black ants, and the red ants will they predate on each other. And there's these white lizard things that like to eat them and all that.
I was gonna say, I don't want to meet the thing that is a predator to an alien. Because one of them is actually the Predator.
Yeah, but they're like, I don't know how they work. From what I understand, they're just a lot stronger. They just adapted to be able to take them out.
I suppose so.
The thing about what makes the aliens horrible is mostly their chest bursting and
100%.
they're crawling and all that.
That's what they're known for.
Yeah.
That and, being H.R. Giger. And once you see that man's work, you definitely know what the alien is supposed to represent.
Well, I mean, it wasn't, from what I understand, it wasn't what the idea was.
It was more how he created it, and he made it look like a big black penis. Which, if you see certain pieces of Giger's art, yeah,
yep.
that makes sense.
Well, I think a lot of the horror in his art is also like it's like turning flesh into machines. Like, it's the industrialization of the flesh, like...
That's definitely the big theme in his horror, is the biomechanical natures of the horror that he creates. And to be fair, I love that shit. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Biopunk...
H.R. Giger's an incredible artist for a reason, I have not played Scorn, no. I have seen it. I want to say is more Cronenberg than Giger, but...
I wouldn't know how to tell the difference.
I didn't hear it was great. With Giger, it's a bit of a more biomechanical stuff. Often it's black and white. Cronenberg, it's like flesh puppet or something.
Just pure flesh, like...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I heard it was a bad game, but that's the thing. There's so many games that I see where the game itself looks like dog shit and I would never play it, but it's like, man, that has some
Sometimes a bad game is a good experience. I know that sounds weird.
I suppose so. Yeah, there's definitely games like that. One game that it was absolute shit, but I love the concept art and sort of the vibe it was going for was Anthem, believe it or not. But I also like mech suits and power armor.
Yeah, me too. I was looking forward to that. I think there's somebody working on it, somebody. There's I don't know who it is, but there's like somebody working on a relapse of that or something.
I hope it goes well for them. I hope they actually kind of go more for because originally I think you were supposed to be survivors of like a crashed colony ship, and you were basically going around salvaging bits of it to upgrade your suit, which was just like a repurposed maintenance suit.
Yeah, that sounds
Anthem
good.
Is the game we're talking about. Also, I'm glad you said your speakers, because I was concerned we were having internet problems again.
Who, me?
No, WhatsApp in the chat was asking what game we were talking about because the speakers cut out, and I'm just like, because I was having all sorts of internet problems yesterday, which thankfully I just flipped a button and it seems to be okay now. We're still streaming and no one's complained about the quality of the stream yet, so. I think it really was partly my router, because our router was old. It was 5 years old, so we
Lovecraftian really is indifference. Not necessarily it's malicious, it's indifferent to you, kind of like We Are the Bug. There's that little short that was imagine if you saw a bunch of ants drawing using sand to make a pentagram into the earth, and then they could talk to you and be like, we want you to do this for us. And you're like, okay, sure, I'll play along.
Oh, see, I heard of something different where it's imagine an ant crawling around at a circuit board, and then imagine for a second the ant actually understands what a circuit board is, and then goes back to not understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's some trippy shit. Destiny's another game too, actually, is when I first saw the concept art for Destiny, I thought that game looked so cool. I was big into Halo, so I was really thinking it was going to be some really crazy epic thing. And then I saw the gameplay for it, and I'm like, it never really appealed to me. mean, it was just a looter shooter, really. And the problem is, like, all the deep world building stuff that it sounded like they were trying to set up, they just kind of didn't. I mean, I knew plenty of friends in college and stuff that loved Destiny, though, so
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
there's something to it, but
It's just weird how they went to make Destiny 2 right after. It's like, I don't understand when they, like, make a sequel so close after making an initial game.
I mean, look at what Blizzard did with Overwatch, you know?
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
I
how I was
think
going
Overwatch
to use
2
that
is
as
dead
another
now, so-
example. Like, what's the point? I mean,
Yeah.
even if technology is like, you know, graphical technology and all that.
Yeah. It's all... I don't know. I forget the reasoning for why Blizzard did Overwatch 2. Oh, yeah, I think part of it was because they didn't have, like, a campaign story in the original Overwatch, so they decided to add one. Yeah, that sounds about right, because, you know, they were working with Activision, and it's Activision. And I'm in a space mood, so I'm going to draw a guy in a spacesuit. Actually, I did just start watching For All Mankind, because my wife got a trial to Apple TV, because, I mean, I don't want to get Apple TV, but... I like that. That seems like an interesting show to me. It's for people that don't know, it's a show where it's an alternate take on the space race where the Soviets beat us to the moon, and rather than just give up, NASA's like, we're gonna fucking do this. I would say the first couple seasons are more sci-fi, definitely more sci-fi based, especially considering that they actually go into a number of the different ideas that NASA came up with. Like, I mean, they build the fucking Sea Dragon rocket, which if you look that thing up, it's nuts. But the later seasons kind of get more into softer sci-fi. I mean, the newest season, it's like, I think the YouTube comment I saw when I watched the trailer for it really sums it up, and it's like, this was an Expanse prequel, we didn't even know it. So, which I love the Expanse too, but you know,
I still haven't watched anything about that series.
you know, I saw a little bit of it. I kind of missed the fun parts. It was more just them talking to the command center, but you know, I heard about it, and I'm glad to see it. I am very pleased we are going back to the moon. I think that's something that we kind of need in some ways, if I'm honest. You know, in the same way that the moon landing kind of united humanity back in the '60s. I'm hoping that this new space race will kind of put things in perspective for people.
Well, the thing is when we're developing technology to do that stuff, sometimes we find out, like, hey, this could be applicable to, you know, modern day stuff, you know?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's a big part of it, too, is just the technological innovations that come from it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's already been concepts for 3D printing Martian habitats out of the local soil that could easily be applicable to here on Earth, you know? I mean, let's not forget how many of our technologies that we use today came from the space race. Yeah, I don't think profit should really matter. I think we need to go to space because, I mean, I'm really trying not to touch on anything, you know, politically related or anything.
Well, I mean, we got to get something out of it, you know, like knowledge or the ability to understand how to get other resources. That's I mean, like a form of profit, but like not like pure money.
I think about it like this, you know. In some ways, I just could compare modern day in a way to like the 1970s and things. And I think that era of space exploration is something whose energy we kind of need, like, we need that driving goal to, like, push beyond the borders of this planet and remind ourselves that despite our differences and conflicts and things, we are all very small in the grand scheme of things. So maybe that means that we should spend less time fighting over shit and more time trying to work together, you know.
Well, I think one of the big things we're interested in on the moon is helium-3.
Helium-3 is kind of a myth, honestly.
I don't know. I just hear.
I mean, I'm sure there's something to it, but it's also like
Well, also being able to, like, if we could easily get to the moon, then we could, like, use it as a launch pad to deeper out space.
That's more what I'm thinking of is that aspect of it, where it's like, yeah, you know, people say why go back to the moon? I mean, if it leads to fusion power, I'm all for us finding more helium, but consider the fact of, like, how expensive it is to ship things into orbit, you know? I mean, just think about how much the Orion, the SLS rocket that launched the Orion capsule is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful rockets on Earth. And how much of that actually is used and comes back, you know? It's literally just the capsule. You know, we had the space shuttle, which I love the space shuttle, but it, you know, I suppose it had its problems. But that was supposed to be more efficient in that regard, but I digress. If you start building infrastructure in space, it gets significantly easier to manufacture what you need. Because then you don't have to worry about shipping it, the cost of shipping something up from Earth orbit. You know, it's not like we have the ability to create orbital space elevators yet, but the ability to, you know, just be able to build stuff in space. And there's already been, you know, thought put towards that. I mean, I forget what the company was, but there was a company that wanted to launch a satellite with essentially a test bed for a 3D printer that could be used in space exploration. Just that sort of idea of it, you know. Because if you have a dedicated moon base, because then you can actually, you know, mine the local resources and use that as material. Or, you know, you have like a staging point to ship stuff to. I mean, say what you will about, you know, For All Mankind's later seasons, but the whole scene where they take off for the... okay, this is kind of spoilers, I guess, but in Season 3, when there's the race to Mars, and the whole scene where they're taking off from the moon in an interplanetary spacecraft, a black hole sun, that is the most fire shit. God, I miss the space shuttle. That thing was so cool. See, that's where part of this comes from, honestly, is just that I grew up, you know, in the early 2000s when the ISS was being built. And yeah, Jolly Roger, that's another awesome scene in that season. But it's that whole era of space was like so inspiring to me as a kid. You know, between that and just like all the cartoons and stuff that I watched, you know, like that's honestly where I really got into my love of sci-fi. Yeah, there is the safety aspect of it. I'm sure that also probably plays into cost of launch, because it's space travel, as it turns out, very dangerous. Yeah, I guess the Challenger kind of messed up with the being able to launch every other week, huh? I mean, shit, I remember when the Columbia disaster happened. It was like...
oh, yeah,
middle school or something. I will say, though, it does sound like there is... or at least I've seen a potential shuttle replacement in the Dream Chaser idea, which isn't as big as the original space shuttle, but, you know, hey, I would gladly love to see a reusable space plane. I love that shit. I'm just thinking about space stuff. Space is cool.
Space is cool, bro.
Did you ever watch Toonami?
Yeah.
Do you remember that Space is the Place bumper they would play? I always think about those bumpers they used to play in the interstitials between shows or parts of or like commercial breaks. But man, that was another thing, like Toonami and stuff. Just so much of that is why I got into sci-fi. I was actually, when I was younger, I was trying to do a more anime style of things, and it kind of ended up just turning into my own thing, which I'm glad for. I don't really feel the desire to get into anime stylings of things these days. If only I could draw this foot properly. There we go. It kind of looks like a little bit like SpaceX's suit, now that I think about it. Of course, that's a pretty slim one in comparison. One thing actually, which is interesting about that suit, is the way that it's made, because the reason that spacesuits are so bulky is due to pressurization, right?
Yeah.
And the way that they dealt with, a lot of that made the suits so bulky, but the way that they've kind of designed the SpaceX suits, they're much slimmer, but still are able to pressurize. And it's just interesting that, because it shows there's a way to make things better. I mean, granted, take things with a grain of salt, but it is nice to see. Yeah, no, I actually really like that the Artemis mission is getting the sort of internet and stream attention that it is. I think that's important, honestly. I think that's something that's going to really... I could see it very much inspiring a whole generation of people, this whole program. I'll admit I haven't really caught up to it as much just because...
Yeah, me too. I'm like, what's going on? Are they going to the moon? What?
Well,
I'm paying attention because I've got other things on my mind.
Yeah, I can be pretty jaded as well with things. But, I am very glad to see it, and just the significance of it is, think about it. The last time that we were back at the moon and we sent actual people to the moon was in the 1970s. And not only are we trying to go back to the moon, and we are not the only nation trying to do that, by the way. We do this. We're trying to make a permanent settlement on the moon. And space colonization is something that I dreamed of as a kid. So to actually see it, hopefully what will become the beginnings of it, is something I am all about. Watching people play Kerbal Space while watching the launch just sounds like a pretty chill Saturday, I'm not gonna lie. How's your alien coming, Andy?
Give me a couple minutes.
Oh, you're good. I'm just doodling. I just figured I'd have a nice little chill stream, getting back into the swing of things. Not only have we just been gone for 2 weeks, I've just kind of been dealing with burnout just because of projects I've been working on and things. And burnout shit is real. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's something my dad likes to bring up from time to time, is just talking about the ability of SpaceX to land a rocket, like it's Flash Gordon, is something that is pretty significant for him, because he remembers seeing stuff like that in science fiction when he was a kid, and now it's happening for real. It's not perfected yet, but still, it's awesome to see. Regardless of your thoughts on certain things involving. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. But,
Yeah. I know it's a shame that we have to take that into consideration.
Well,
but,
I look at it this way. I give credit to the people that are actually making this shit happen. People can proclaim whatever they want, but at the end of the day, the people that are actually getting it done are the people that really matter. And we definitely have a lot of dedicated people that are in NASA and the space program in general that really want to create, the next big push for mankind, which I'm totally here for.
Yeah. One thing I always start getting worried about, I was like, when we start colonizing Mars, we're going to have to figure something out, because every story about we have a colony on Mars, it's like eventually they're going to want to self-govern and all that,
Yeah, that's, I think it comes up for a very
I'm not
interesting
saying it
reasons.
can't, I'm just saying how we deal with it, it's like,
Yeah.
there's always some sort of problem that we make for ourselves. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Hopefully, we solve it in a more reasonable way than most media can portray. Then again, in The Expanse, that kind of solved the problem. It was like, hey, we'll give you better engines if you give us our independence, so... Yeah, definitely watch out for the guy with the sledgehammer. He's going to just... Oh, God. Just remembering all the times...
Wasn't there also a game like Red Faction Mars or something like that?
Yeah, that's Red Faction Guerrilla. That's the game where you can go around smashing stuff with a sledgehammer. Or do what I did and do Viet Cong-style ambushes where you park a truck in the middle of the road when there's a convoy coming with mining charges planted on it, and then, hilarity ensues.
Oh, crispy.
Actually, the most fun weapon in that game was the arc thrower, because you fully upgrade that thing and you can just kill everybody. I took down the final boss of that game so quick with that thing. It's like, oh, he's in a tank. Hey, guess what? This thing affects people more in vehicles now. So I shocked the monkey. Yeah, that game is very much had like Thor's hammer, because you could just destroy anything with it. Oh yeah, the C4 packs are the best shit, because then you could just... you could honestly just do the Battlefield 3 thing, where you just drive up to a bunch of guys and then just roll out of the truck, hit the detonator. But it makes a lot of sense those guys also made Saints Row. The PS3 was not great, was it? I never had one. I had a 360, but yeah.
The problem was it had the PS2 to contend with, and that thing had a beast of a library.
That was even with me growing up more with Xbox, the PS3 is definitely, I want to say, one of the best, if not the best, consoles of all time.
Yeah.
Say what you will about the NES and everything, but that PS3, man, or that PS2, man, it had so many friggin' games on it that people loved.
It only a couple of years ago that they stopped manufacturing them.
No kidding. I certainly believe it. People love it.
You've heard the term 2 steps forward, or what is it? 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we need to like consider that. Like maybe we should like take a step back, see what we've got, what's been helping us out. Maybe what's been like hurting us,
I
maybe more than it should.
I think there's definitely something to be said about pushing things that you claim are innovations that aren't actually helpful AI. But yeah, I think that a big part of it is just the fact that we've not necessarily, like, we've kind of gotten away from technology that is durable in some respects. I mean, for one instance, it's there's been such a big push for touchscreens in cars and stuff, and
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea.
well, I saw something recently where it's like there's newer car models coming out that are kind of going back to buttons because the touchscreens are just, they're not great, as fancy as they can be, they're not great for everything.
Well, my grandfather, one of the reasons he stopped working on engines is because you can't get your hands in there. Like that was his biggest complaint.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's why I'm glad I have an early 2000s car because, light bulb goes out on that, I can just go to the store and get one. If I had like a modern car, I would probably have to take it in the garage because I wouldn't be able to get to the light bulb. There'd be some kind of paneling or something in the way. Also, I will be right back.
after these messages. I'm working on my alien.
I have returned. What about alien references? Must have missed something while I talked.
Oh, what am I
And I'm
using
here.
for the alien reference? A mirror? Like, look, guy. Look, Krampus. I want people to be actually able to look at it, okay?
Look, I've met Andy in person. I will say this much: he does not have acid blood. At least I don't think he does.
I don't have what? Oh, acidic blood. You haven't seen me bleed.
You're right, I didn't. But if it bleeds, we can kill it.
I could make a
I also
statement
wanna
of
try-
that, but I know it'll, like...
You know what, Andy? I think I know where you were going with that. So I'm gonna draw a flying saucer. That's what I'm gonna do. I will say I do miss playing on my original Xbox. That was a fun console. Yeah, Andy reproduces by budding. That's what his blood does. Grows into new friends. He got cut at the IHOP and he suddenly filled the place. I'm still so upset that we didn't get a chance to go to the Waffle House like we wanted it. I wanted to see a Waffle House.
Maybe next time, my dude. Maybe next time.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping. I think the closest one to me is like at least over a half hour away. So we don't really have Waffle Houses around my neck of the woods. Wow, that took a while to Red Wing. Or Red Ring. Red Wing is something entirely different that I don't think I can say on stream. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good.
Oddly enough, when I hear Red Wings, it just reminds me of the group of people in the Pumpkinhead series, like the bullies made their little like club or something like that.
It's definitely better than what I was thinking.
Or an energy drink.
I could definitely see an energy drink being called Red Wings, but the yeah.
I could see like an energy drink for vampires being called Red Wings.
Maybe it'll be called Red Bull, and it'll give you wings.
I'm sorry, but when I think Red Bull, I always think of the bull, the burning fire bull from Last Unicorn.
Never seen Last Unicorn.
Yeah, this guy, this like king, he wanted all the unicorns for himself so that he could look at it because that was the only thing that pleased him. He was a real curmudgeon. So
I guess
he
you could
ordered.
call him
I don't know
Unicuck.
how he gained control over this thing, but he ordered this house-sized bull made of fire to go capture them and push them into the sea. So every time the ocean like splat, you know, when the ocean like all the foam, like that was the unicorns, and he'd look at it and he'd smile his creepy little smile. He's like, "Hey, this pleases me."
I'm gonna just say this much. I'd much rather, if he wants something cool to look at, I think the giant flaming bull is more interesting than the unicorn.
Look, like I said, that was the only thing. That was the only thing. He had all this weird shit
That's
around
why I called him a unicuck.
Maybe he was one of those guys that was like, you've got a burning Red Bull that'll do your bidding. He's like, yeah, he's just not doing it for me. Not a unicorns. Oh.
God, you were just reminding me of the one movie where Jimmy Stewart.
They give some resistance.
Oh,
that's what I like. Hold on a minute.
Oh, I forget the name of the movie, but there's a movie where Jimmy Stewart yells about being a cuck, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I want to say it's Vertigo or Rear Window.
There was a movie where like they try to like, and forgive the phrase, but like I remember watching a documentary and I was like, they're trying to make him into a sex symbol. I'm like, you can't make not Jimmy Stewart, Don Adams into a sex symbol.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say Jimmy Savile. I'm like, oh, God. I'm not going to get into what I mean by that. It's not good. Anyway, how about them Lakers? You know who is a sex symbol with the name Jimmy? Jimmy Page. Trust me, you don't want to know more.
Would you like to know more? No! Turn the TV off!
There's too many cursed things I've learned on the internet because of that phrase. What are they? I will never tell. But chances are, if you're here, you've probably seen some of them. Oh, God. I'm not responsible for any psychic damage you get by going down the rabbit hole. Is that a streamer clause? Unless I show it on stream, I'm not responsible.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, yes, I'm giving this UFO hot rod flames because I feel like aliens would be cool like that. You watch X-Files, right, Andy?
What's that?
You watch X-Files, right?
Yeah, I did. I remember watching it like when we were kids. It was like when I started watching it, it felt more like, you know, Monster of the Week, you know? And I kind of liked it better that way.
I I agree. I think the overarching story that they were kind of trying to imply, they didn't really have a good idea of where they wanted to take it, because it kept flipping between, like, government conspiracy, alien conspiracy, all
That
this
was kind
shit's
of the point.
real.
It felt like it was more episodic and like I don't know how much you were supposed to take it seriously or something. Just like, oh, spooky monsters and weird shit.
I mean, where they took the sort of overarching story was just not something I was into.
Yeah, the alien blood that'll I don't even know what it does. I don't care anymore.
Oh, that's right, it was toxic or something, I don't remember. But it was, yeah. It was like the whole thing, like Scully getting pregnant, it was like an alien baby, and then it was like, oh, it was a government alien baby, and then it's just like, what is... Or like Mulder's sister, who's just like perpetually missing.
Well, that was his big thing, his sister being abducted.
Yeah, and then it was like resolved in the most anticlimactic way, where it's like she was a ghost the whole time.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Also, RimWorld, there are so many things on 4chan that have ruined all of us. Hello, Load. You were just in time for UFO time. You think aliens would have fuzzy dice in the mirror of their flying saucers? I hope so.
We have glip-glarps. Yes, glip-glarps.
Yeah, it's something weirder than fuzzy dice.
Been on front eggs.
They're like fuzzy dice, but they bite. I think it's been a bit since they've drawn a UFO, so I'm kind of glad to get back into it. Sometimes the simplest spaceships are the most fun.
Sorry if that hurt anybody's ears.
Oh, I think it cut out, so...
I remember growing up, that was a typical like UFO thing, like.
Oh yeah, the theremin.
Yeah.
I'd want to get a theremin. And just like don't have an excuse to get one.
I bet you do, you dirty little boy.
It's pretty cool when I saw Clutch live a couple years ago. They had a theremin for their show. Because the one song they played had it. Let's see here. Can I make things weirder with the perspective? Oh yeah, there we go. That's more like it. It's amazing what a little transform tool will do. I've really been getting into the swing of using these more. If an alien was gonna have a race car, what number would be on their race car?
51.
You know what? You make a very good point, Andy. I just had a dumb thought. What if Area 51 was like alien rehab? Like you're like Passengers Malibu, but for aliens? And the reason there's like all sorts of alien sightings around there is because it's just like some kind of alien trying to escape rehab. I think I just came up with a show idea.
Men in Black Rehab Edition.
Oh my god. Ah yes, 42.
Or Men in Black like MCU or something like, you know, the Doctor Edition.
I would not want to be an alien doctor. That sounds like it'd be a pain in the ass. I'm a Martian proctologist. Oh, dang it! I did that line on the wrong layer. Oh well. I also gotta get used to this because currently I've switched up. Usually when I'm streaming, I have I have Twitch and my browser in a separate window. But because Storm's not here today, I have it open with the Twitch chat at least on the side of what I'm doing, and it's taking some getting used to.
God, I'm adding texture and it's annoying.
It definitely can be. Honestly, sometimes I've just found the best way to figure out what's good is just to play around with shit and just do weird stuff. You would not believe the amount of times that stuff I've done on stream has actually kind of contributed to what I do overall. Or maybe you would, I don't know. Certainly has changed my technique a bit drawing live on stream. This baby gets 20 light years to the gallon.
Gallon of what?
Don't you worry about it. Hand me that cow's rectum.
It's bacroma fluid.
Did you know that, like, cattle mutilations are a huge thing out in the...
I know. I
So
watched a lot of that
that's-
stuff back then. Like, they were like, well, it can't just be flies and wild animals because, you know, the cuts are so precise and all that. And, you
Look.
know, it's done before the animals can even get to it.
If there's a cow with an 18-inch cavity cored out of its rectum, I don't think that's just a crow.
Well, it could be like coyotes and shit like that.
I'm a bit concerned as to what that coyote's up to.
You know, a lot of animals don't care what they're eating as long as they get it, you know, like... Man,
Oh,
if
I
you
know.
knew how
I've seen
hyenas are
Jersey
like...
Shore.
Hyenas will, like, grab your stuff from the back. Like, they don't care. They're trying to take you down, man.
They like to go for the soft, fleshy bits first.
Yes, they
And,
like to go for the soft, fleshy... Yeah.
Nah, the French. Actually, you know you're right. Crow would be there. Be some kind of vulture. Probably. Turkey vulture or some shit. But then they also get into, like, the spooky parts of it, where, you know... The one story I think of is from the, Man, there was actually a lot of it, but the story of Skinwalker Ranch that was told by the family that lived on it when all the crazy stuff happened there. And just how, like, gone for 20 minutes, a cow has just been mutilated, or just a cow just disappears in the middle of a snowstorm with no indication of where it went. Man, I've seen hawks, like, ripping into squirrels, though. That's the thing. Of course, we have squirrels die all sorts of fun ways around here. I always remember the story my dad told me when I was a kid, because he was a lineman for many years for the power company. And bacon with two eyes is how he described a squirrel that got electrocuted by a live wire, and it just sticks with me.
I saw, like, a bird just... Like, its body was hanging off 1 foot off of a electric fence.
Yeah. Electricity's a sumbitch. And that, you know what the fun part about those electric fences is? You never know when they're on until they're on. Because I definitely found out firsthand what those feel like. And it's not great.
Well, it's not supposed to.
No,
Like,
it's
get back
not,
in there, cow!
If it can stun a cow, it doesn't feel great on a human. Guy on Broadway, that's so funny you say that because you're just basically describing the reaction of the main farmer guy in Skinwalker Ranch. Anytime there was some cryptic shit, he's like, where's my gun?
I remember hearing one where like a girl like said something was told her grandmother that something was following her, and you know they're Native American. The grandmother like poured some fire ash into the shotgun and just started blasting. She says, "You're not allowed to be here," and all the comments are like, "Don't fuck with Granny."
Granny's seen some shit. Also, Bully Snake, definitely agree with that entire assessment. But the thing that makes some of these stories interesting is like, they will see the animal alive, come back 20 minutes later, and then that's been done to it. You know? And I'm sure there's definitely plenty of cases when it comes to cattle mutilations and things that are very much predators just getting to a missing cow, but some of it's just like, this is weird. Especially when you get like experts coming out being like, I don't know what did this. That's the part that gets me, is when like the experts like, I don't know, or like, oh fuck. That's the part where I'm like, Apparently there were some interesting reactions to that that footage. I think it was from last year where they shot at the orb with a missile and it just kind of ricocheted off.
Oh yeah.
Imagine being a pilot for that, just seeing that like, oh fuck. I did not hear about kangaroos getting high and making crop circles, but I'll tell you what, I want to see that shit. Just the idea of a bunch of kangaroos just stoned making a friggin' crop circle sounds funny. Ah! Wrong pen. There we go. You know, I also like that idea as well, where that's the reason that some of these crop circles happen, is just because the cows find, like, the weed growing in the middle of some farmer's field, and then they just chew on it and make stuff. Oh god. Here we go. Thank you, layer locks tool. I think that's what, or lock to layer tool. I think that's what it's called. You know, I'm more terrified about the times when mooses kind of get into people's, like, if they eat fermented fruit and then they go on a drunken rampage. Yeah, the cows are getting into surrealism. That's what they're doing with the crop circles. Yeah, drunk moose is horrifying, because it's like, I always forget, like, how big mooses are until I actually see a video of one. And then I'm like, oh, they are not deer size. They are bigger than deer size. Because, you know, where I live, we got deer, and it's, you know, a deer's a deer.
Some people call them the Canadian kaiju.
It is a Canadian kaiju. It sits where it wants. You're absolutely right. And if that moose is hammered on fermented fruit, run like hell. What game is it? I think it's a Silent Hill game, or no, I think it's Resident Evil 4 that has like the whole like killer grizzly bear scene. Replace that with a moose. Yeah, mooses are like them and elk. I'm like, oh my god, these are not small creatures. I'd much rather hit a deer with my car than a moose, because like I've run into deer with my car, and yeah, I've had to get a door replaced, but my car's been otherwise fine. I hit a moose with my car, I'm gonna need a new car. On the bright side, though, those would be some incredible moose burgers. Oh man, Bully Snake, you saying that is reminding me, because my wife was watching Yellow Jackets a while ago, and there was like a whole scene with a dead moose in a lake, and it was just, oh, it was so creepy. That whole show was just like, not a good time. Go through the windshield, go through the rest of the cabin, and into the trunk. Also, the music of the stream has started to remind me of Dwarf Fortress because I've been playing that a lot lately. I'm sure it's going to bite me the ass for saying this, but I've really been enjoying the method of rather than making stairs go down from the surface to your main part of the fort, I've been using ramps. It's got such a pleasing look to it, but I'm sure that's going to cause some problems later on. I mean, to be fair, it's not like the stairs are any better, because I've definitely had a Forgotten Beast just crawl up through my fortress, like, emulating half the dwarves. You know what? I'm doing this wrong. This part should be green. This part needs to be green. This is UFO we're talking about. There's just something so appealing about the classic flying saucer, you know? Kinda want to watch Forbidden Planet now. You ever see that movie?
Yeah. One of the OGs, man.
Yeah, with a young Leslie Nielsen. He was gonna be like a big, like, sci-fi star back in the day. And then, well, we got Naked Gun, so. Which is also good. But yeah, that's a fun, like, if you want a good classic sci-fi movie, that's a fun one to watch. Another good sci-fi movie I definitely... And I feel like I probably said this on stream before, but Prospect is a great movie. The new Naked Gun, yes, I did. And I will say this much. Going into it, I was like, I'm very skeptical of it, just because it's like, how many remakes have we seen where it's like, you know... It's, oh, we're remaking a series, and then it's just like crap. But 5 minutes, not even like 5 minutes into watching that, I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. Like, I don't want to spoil anything for people, because I definitely think you should go watch the new Naked Gun, but it holds up in comparison to the originals. Also, the part where they talk about Nordberg is pretty great. It's just like so subtle, but it's just like, ha! But yeah, definitely recommend the new Naked Gun if you haven't seen it. And this is coming from somebody that definitely has a lot of problems with the sequelitis of movies and such. Aren't they making a new scary movie, or am I wrong about that?
Yeah. Like 7?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I will say that seeing how the Naked Gun turned out kind of made me a bit more hopeful for how the new Spaceballs is going to go, just because that's another one I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, yeah, they got Mel Brooks on board, but is it going to be as good as the original? But seeing how Naked Gun's been handled, I could see Mel Brooks doing a pretty good job with it, so. I'm here for it as long as the original creators, people that know how things should be with the series are behind it, you know? Because then, if they're not, then you get what happened with the Halo show, which, yeah. I could see why people had problems with the first couple seasons of Star Trek Picard if they were lifelong Star Trek fans after seeing just a little bit of that. Yeah, no, as long as it really, as long as it captures the feel of what the original Spaceballs was like, that's more of what I think. Because there's definitely some stuff that was like more modern in the Naked Gun movie. But you know, I give it a pass just because it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's modern times. They're gonna obviously put references to current stuff in there. It's still good. Star Trek fans have abused it. What did they do to Italy? Oh god. Oh, is this because of the Picard show? They just go to Italy and just start doing weird shit.
Alright, give me a second.
Oh, you're good. I'm still working on my UFO. Actually, I think I just... Oh, wait, no, I gotta do this side here. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, do they, like, fight in the mob or something? Because... Like, I do love the idea of a movie about Trek fans versus the mob. See... There really was... I'll be honest, Halo was one of my favorite game series. It honestly is one of the big things that has influenced to me when it comes to like my love of sci-fi and drawing stuff. And when I saw that first trailer for the Paramount show, I immediately was very much like, I don't know about this, and nothing I saw for it really resonated with me. And it's not because I don't think you can't do a good Halo show, I just don't think the people behind it really had the best interests at heart in regards to that. Because I look at the live action, you know, commercials they did for Halo 3 and such, which, to be fair, which apparently were reused assets they were going to use to pitch a Halo movie back in the day. And those still look fantastic. And then you look at the Halo TV show and it's just not good. Nothing to say about what they did in terms of like the setting and everything, because it's like, yeah, there's just
Alright,
so many things
Crispy.
that could have been done better.
Are you ready?
I am ready, Spaghetti Andy. Send it my way. Oh wow, I actually really like that. That's kind of cool. Hold on a sec. Let me show chat real quick. Andy did a really good job with an alien.
Here is my alien.
Yeah, I like the vein part. The texture on it looks really good.
Oh yeah. I did some like faded darkening to do like kind of spots. Like I didn't want it to look completely smooth. Like it's actually kind of bubbly.
Yeah. I get you.
I guess I'll put it in odd.
Do it. Also, in reference to what you were saying earlier about resolution, what was the canvas size you did that one at?
Canvas size?
Yeah.
To be honest, I did it as its original. I have to go back a bit. What's the canvas size?
I mean, the reason I ask is mainly just because, you know...
It's like
maybe
800 by 600 pixels.
Oh, yeah, you want to go much bigger than that. That's not really a good size for bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Does that
That's like the
program have
base
option-
it does it at.
Does that have the option for inches?
I think it does.
Okay.
It does like
'Cause
it's pixels, inches, pixels, centimeters.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to look at it, but I definitely think that you need to upscale your canvas to much larger than what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cast aspersions, I'm trying to help.
Again, it's not MS Paint, it's paint.net.
We need more big, hard throbbing
I
resolution
used this
in our
like,
images.
God, like 20 years ago because I didn't want to buy Photoshop.
Yeah, for reference for chat, in case they don't know, I am using Clip Studio, which is a much newer program, and Andy is using MS Paint.
No, it's not MS Paint.
Or what is it? Sorry.
Paint.net.
That's right, Paint.net. And that is a much older program. It's like when I see people talk about like asking for advice with GIMP and stuff. I've seen that from time to time in chats, and I'm just like, I honestly just want to tell them to go use Photoshop, and then I gotta remind myself, it's like, number one, it's Adobe. I wouldn't trust anyone to buy any. I wouldn't tell anyone to honestly buy any Adobe products these days. But you know, also it's just I'm speaking from a place where I've spent years working on this stuff. You know, fully immersed in this field, and I, you know, not to sound pretentious, but I do consider myself a professional when I do this stuff. So it's like I'm kind of coming at it from a very over-the-top angle, and I gotta remind myself that it's like, yeah, a lot of people don't need the top-line stuff. Paint.net's good. I definitely, like Andy said, I definitely recommend, if you want a good drawing program that's free, Krita is probably one of the best you're gonna find.
Well, I have that. I'm just like, I think I'm old man set in my ways. Like, I don't understand what these icons mean.
No, I get you, man. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I'm using Clip Studio. I've used it for damn near 10 years at this point.
I mean, I did Wacker's opening well, I don't know if I call it a crawl, but his opening stream picture with
his title card.
Yeah, I just did I quadrupled it or something. Let me see.
Yeah, like that.
I have a bigger
one.
canvas size. Let me.
You know what I would honestly do? I would look into the sizes of thumbnails for YouTube and just start doing them at like that size or double that size.
The one for that was 3,200 by 2,162.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot better resolution than the ones you've been using. You know, when it comes to digital art, you definitely want to be sure you're doing it at a good size.
Yeah. I'm gonna send it to Whacker, see what he says. Damn it, Andrew!
Oh, the jellyfish?
Yeah. What's its story? Usually when it sees you, it just wonders why you're terrestrial bound.
Yeah, it's like the hand art from Mass Effect, but
it's like it's literally like you can't float. That's sad.
It's asking for today's lottery numbers. Turns out he wants some scratch-offs. Why no anti-grav indeed? We could use more anti-grav.
I would like to think that the one thing that would freak aliens out is our hands. It's like they've got this like one long extremity that ends in like these 5 like oddly dexterous. It's like they could bend only one way, but like, oh god.
I don't know, man. I could think of plenty of other things they would be freaked out by that humans do.
They reproduce by exchanging genetic data.
Why is the female stuck in the cleaning implement?
We show them the Xenomorph movie. They just point at us and they say, "This is just you. This is just you."
Yeah. I learned it by watching you, Dad. Hold on, I will be right back.
We just tear ourselves in half and then like osmosis our way. I actually wanted to get it like weird pupils. You watched the old War of the Worlds, right? Let me see if I can pick it up.
Okay, I'm back. I remember reading like a Humanity Fuck Yeah story where it's like we were able to win a giant intergalactic war because somebody was like really good at like a strategy game. It was
They
like,
do that sometimes.
like,
They have one where
yeah.
like an alien commander's watching a human child play like I don't know an RTS game, and they're freaking out because like it's like she's pulling off the Kroger maneuver. That's supposed to be a state secret.
I don't know. I kind of also feel like part of it is Paradox fans try to justify their purchases, but at any rate, no, I'm just talking shit because I don't like Paradox, but that's also from a place of like, I've consistently got a shit product from you. At any rate, I think I know what I'm going to do for our last bit of stream here. It's been a while since I've done a whacker drawing.
It's been a while.
And
so anyway, if you look at that picture of the eye, like that's one eye, and it's got like the three color thing. I wanted to make like pupils like that for each eye that was slightly faded.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get my whacker reference up here. All right, there we go. Now we're cooking. All right.
Crispy, have you watched The Last Starfighter?
I'm not. I'm at least familiar with the movie, but I have not watched it, no.
I always thought that was like... I thought that was a Star Wars movie, because I remember, I thought that's what they called people that flew the X-Wing.
Oh, Starfighter pilots?
Yeah. And remember, this is when I was like a kid, so...
I mean, I will say, like, looking at some of the stuff from it, I honestly thought part of it was from Battlestar Galactica. But, yeah.
Oh, Shredder! Oh. Oh.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall where they proposed Krang. It's like, alright, so we got this fat guy. He's actually a robot, and inside of him is a jellyfish man that looks like Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Well, that didn't exist back then.
I know, but now I'm
it's
also
like a
just
brain, a talking brain. His name is Krang.
You can't tell me, like, look at that, and it's like, that reminds you of Meatwad. That reminds me of Meatwad.
I mean, yeah, like, but you gotta understand that this is before Meatwad. So
I know.
Looked at Meatwad and said, what's with this brown Krang-looking motherfucker?
It's just wishful thinking on my part.
Oh yeah, later on they combine him with Shredder.
Yeah, that's my introduction to Krang was like the 2000s series where it's like, oh, he's actually Shredder is actually Krang.
An alien?
Yeah.
No.
The 2000s Ninja Turtle show was pretty good. I didn't see a ton of it, but the episodes I did see,
Shredder is like, Yamada Yoshi. No. Yamada Yoshi is either a Splinter or Splinter's master. And Shredder's real name is like... Basically, they hate each other over a lady. Like... Shredder's like, I want her to be my woman. She's like, I like him. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill you both.
Man, Pussy built this dojo and Pussy be tearing it down.
Oroko Saki, yeah.
That's a name.
Your last name is the same as beer.
Hello, I'm Marvin Budweiser. Actually,
what if you drew...
I mean, you joke about that, Andy, but it's like... Most breweries are
it'd be funny. Draw an Urbamec that like took the top half of an Atlas or something and put it on him, or just.
Oh, I had a different thought. I was thinking of like a head crab, but it's an Urbamec on an Atlas.
Something like that. Like basically the belly is like an an Urbamec or something like that. Or an Urbamec wearing the skin suit of another mech.
Hey, don't chew on that. 1 second.
He's talking to his cat, not me. Urbamec, that's just a head of an Atlas. Yeah, right. Kind of like Gurren Lagann, if you think about it.
We are joined by special guest Pudding. Say hi.
Oh.
No, he doesn't meow loud enough for that. I mean, he does meow loud, but I don't think Discord does well with cat noises.
Yeah, it doesn't pick up my cat, usually.
Either way, he's sitting right next to me. Hi, buddy.
I need to do a updated version of the Herbamech with the Atlas Fist.
Oh, yeah. Hulkamania. Give it Hulk hands.
Oh, yeah, remember the Herby Burger? The Herba Burger?
I vaguely remember that.
It's like an
Wait, were you
Herbamech,
just, like,
but
trying to
it's
push
like
me off
a
the
giant hamburger, and the one laser arm is like a ketchup bottle.
Oh, yeah. Hi, buddy. He's sitting right next to me, so he wants all the pets. He'll, like, wake me up at 4 in the morning and just, like, snuggle up with me. You know, I learned yesterday, apparently there's a version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where Shredder was, like, a dude at one point.
What do you mean, a dude?
Like, just like a regular human that got turned into a rat?
Oh, Shredder or Splinter?
Or Splinter, sorry.
I think usually, I'm sure usually it's, Splinter is, like, a samurai master who escaped to New York and touched a goo and he turned into a rat.
Okay.
I think it was the movie that had it where he was a rat that turned... I don't know, to be honest. Like,
I mean, the movie's definitely where it became more canon, because that's, you know, if that's where the whole thing about him being a regular rat started, you know.
I wonder what the Michael Bay movies had it.
I don't know. I didn't watch those just because I was like, I mean, Ninja Turtles isn't exactly like a series I'm super into to begin with, just because it's not something I really grew up with. But can't imagine the Bay movies would have been much better, considering how the Transformers ones went. Which, I mean, to be fair, there's good parts to those movies, but there's also dumb parts.
Yeah. You know, I just looked at that alien I drew, and like I can imagine you facing like 3 or 4 of them in a JRPG.
Yeah, they're definitely like in some kind of dungeon somewhere. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, the live action ones were funny.
I mean, we watched the original one.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I really want to go back and just see if I can catch glimpses of the dudes, like, in the costumes talking.
There are scenes where they show where you can see their mouth inside the mouth.
Yeah. It's so cursed.
The second one is okay. After that, I'm like, eh. The third one, I think that was a time travel one. That's like,
Oh, yeah. Once they get into time travel, that's when a series is just like, nah. Oh, bye, buddy.
The movies never got Bebop Rocksteady. They got Razor and Fisto, or whatever the hell it was. That was the...
Fisto, huh?
Well, it was they took a baby, like, Timberwolf and a baby alligator snapping turtle and mutated them. And they're like, go fight the turtles. And they're like, mama!
Interesting.
And Shredder's is like, you got babies?
I'm just glad that it's not the other version of Fisto I was thinking of.
Oh, you know this thing. Do you know of the Technodrome?
The Technodrome?
Yes. If you get a chance, look that up and show it on stream.
What is that?
Imagine the Death Star on treads with a few prongs sticking out and a giant eyeball on top.
Whoa. What is that from? Oh, Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. That was the evil lair. Yeah,
That's the Technodrome. Yeah.
That's where Shredder and Krang would hang out underground. They'd like crawl underneath the city in that thing. That was their base, the dome base.
That's bonkers. I love it.
They also had other mutants that like didn't appear. They had like a guy that turned into a bat guy
I mean,
and
I'm
other
sure it was a
stuff.
lot like,
There's also a Baxter something another. He turned into the Fly guy.
oh yeah, Baxter Stockman.
Baxter Stockman, and like in more recent ones, he's just getting the rawest end of the deal
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
he
time.
gets turned into a head, and then he like gets enslaved by aliens and shit. Actually, I think it's Majestic 12 or something along those lines.
One of the movies, it is Shredder that like does that to him.
Yeah, that sounds like Shredder.
I remember watching a short documentary about it. The guys are just having fun. They're like drawing pictures,
Oh, that's awesome.
and one guy drew a picture of a turtle with nunchucks. And it was like Ninja Turtle. And then like they kept passing it back and forth and making more turtles with like, you know, weapons like Ninja Turtles. And they're like, what if they're like teenage Ninja Turtles? And one goes like, what if they're teenage mutant Ninja Turtles? And they're like, what the bad guy was named Shredder?
I mean, it is how a lot of good ideas get started as shitposts.
Oh yeah, I like how the Smurfs came about. A guy was learning German with his friend, and he said like pass the salt, and instead of the word he was supposed to say, he said like pass the Smurf. He's like, yeah, no, that is not Smurf. And the other guy kept giving him shit about it, and they just they kept using the word for stupid things like no, said the Smurf.
Oh, so they did what we did and just like talk as the Swedish. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So does Whacker have like a rat inside of his human body?
I was actually gonna put you in there.
Oh, I thought his glasses were round.
Yeah, but look at Krang.
Oh yeah, he's got the old '80s like sunglasses on.
Yeah, gotta get real cyberpunk with it. Still has the dong nose though.
No, wait, you got to give him those old glasses that are like that have the lines through it. Let me see if I can find.
What, like the Venetian sunglasses?
Is that what they're called?
Like the ones that were popular in like the 2010s? Or are you talking about like the visor from Star Trek?
Let me see.
And there's certain details I would add to this if I wasn't concerned about TOS. Give some big old floppy pancakes. Maybe I will do a route on the inside, I don't know. This is the version of Ratatouille they didn't want you to see. Yeah, that is a good point. What point the turtles conversation is like, what if they eat pizza? Because something tells me that these guys were definitely like getting the munchies.
Well, they
I
made
mean.
it during like the '80s, so like that was a time of like radical and like surfer dudes and like they're teenagers, and what do teenagers do? They eat pizza. They're also
I
in
think
New
we.
York. What else are they going to eat?
It's hot dogs. I don't know. I also think like we definitely lost something when we stopped referring to people as radical and gnarly.
Gnarly means like kind of bad, like deformed or something like that. Radical is just like out of sync or something, like a radical, like it's out of line.
Sure.
Tubular is just, I'm pretty sure it just means you're like a tube.
That looks appropriate.
Now I didn't know about the Technodrome being like bigger on the inside. Because
Oh,
they
really? They
made
got
it
some
seem
TARDIS
pretty
shit?
big in the show. I was like, it's like a literal fucking building underground, like multi-storied.
I mean,
Look
it
at some of the
looks
toys.
pretty big.
Yeah, doing whatever the plot demands, including getting stuck in the mud. You
Was there
should see the
seriously an
van
episode
that
they just got
the
stuck?
turtle van. They took a van and like they like to grab. You know, it was a toy. The show was for selling toys, and they like take things and turtleize it.
Oh, you should look up the one from the 2000 show. That one looks like some Mad Max shit. Also,
Ah,
I think
shredder.
I read somewhere. Isn't the reason that like Stockman turned evil was because the turtles stole the van from him?
I don't know.
I could have
That could
sworn I
be
read that
Stockman.
somewhere.
Stockman invented the Mousers,
Oh
which
yes,
were like
the
these
mouse.
robots that had jaws. They okay. Do you remember Tremors or Tremors 2?
I mean, I know I'm familiar with Tremors and the Graboids.
Yeah, you know how they turn into like the raptor versions, like they had two legs and the big head.
Yeah,
Basically, robot versions of them, and their sole
yeah,
purpose was to hunt mice.
yeah.
And
That
Shredder's
that was
like,
the
"Oh shit, these are cool. I'm gonna use these to hunt down the turtles."
yeah, they reused that in the newer Ninja Turtles show because I
And then
remember those
like
guys from that.
somehow Baxter got like touched some mutagen because that shit's lying all over the place.
I mean, it was the 80s in New York. That was probably more normal than not. I mean, because you think about it, they had that and then they had Chuds come out. So it's like, what
What
the
are we
hell
gonna do
is.
with this dangerous liquid that could cause irreparable damage to a person's DNA structure if they touch it? Ah, throw it in the sewer. Nobody goes down there.
Cut to Chuds. You ever see Chuds?
I think I saw one movie of it. I didn't care
I saw
for
the
it.
original one, which, it's a great prequel to Home Alone if you think about it that way. But yeah, that's a fun movie. I'd watch that again. I'm definitely going to send this to Whacker when I'm done with it. I'm sure he'll have something witty to say, like, Crispy, why must you hurt me this way? Which is usually the response I get when I send him the things I make for him. Oh, it was pretty gritty in the original? That's interesting.
Yeah, the original Ninja Turtles were like black and white comic book. They were psychos. Like
Yeah.
they beat the crap out of Shredder and then gave him a gun and told him to you know,
Oh!
finish it
Oh, it gets...
himself.
I mean, it gets real dark then.
Yes. One of them cracks a lead pipe over like I think Raphael cracks a red pipe over Michelangelo's head, and Michelangelo becomes like a psychopath. Like
He gets
he
the
just like
shine. Oh, no.
yeah, he gets like you know, it's they're like I don't think it's a good time.
It doesn't
They
sound
were
like it.
like it was calmed down for the cartoon series, and to be honest, I think it was better for it.
It is. A show like Ninja Turtles is not something that needs to be gritty and serious. It's literally dudes hanging out in a sewer eating pizza.
Well, I think that's originally the joke, like a gritty serious about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, like
Yeah, but it sounds more... It sounds a bit too edgy for that, It's not like...
well, again, like I
mean,
said, I think that was the joke. Like,
yeah.
why are they trying to, you know, like look at these things that are trying to be edgy. They're like these turtles that think they're ninjas.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm sure you can watch a documentary about it on your local YouTubes.
Yeah, I bet you there is probably a documentary for Ninja Turtles the musical.
You know what's a movie you need to watch?
What?
The Abyss.
Oh, I've seen that. The Deep Sea movie.
Yeah. Oh shit, there's like intelligent life down here and they don't like us. And oh look, we dropped a nuke down there and they're very pissed.
Oh, they're pissed about that?
Yeah, and guess what? They can control water at will. All water.
Mmm, delicious.
Trying to wipe out humanity again.
Again?
Oh wait, humans are capable of love and understanding? Well shit.
I guess we can't do that. Yeah, I did watch 2001 and then also the sequel to it, and those were pretty good. I mean, 2001's a classic for a reason. It may not be the most exciting of movies, but it's certainly very visually something. I think that was Kubrick, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was Kubrick.
I don't know. All I know is like Jupiter becomes another sun and basically its own little micro solar system within the solar system.
Yeah. That's very much how the sequel went, which I think is kind of fun, but you know
that's right, that was a sequel.
Yeah. The original, it's just like he becomes the Star Child or whatever. Also, you know, HAL 9000 goes crazy.
You kind of forget that there's like the obelisk, or was that only in the second one?
The monolith? Oh no, it's in both of them. Because that's why they're taking the mission out in the solar system, because they tracked one out there. And then, you know,
which if you think about it is pretty much the plot for Dead Space.
Yeah, I guess it is a bit Dead Spacey in terms of plot, but
well, okay, let's rephrase that. Dead Space is kind of 2001 in plot, except with a lot of Cronenberg shit going on.
Yeah, but, you know, everything's got to build off of something else, so I'm certainly not going to fault them.
Part of me is sad that the series is over, but then part of me is kind of like, yeah, because if they would have just kept going, they just would have kept making it worse. Like, a lot of people didn't like the third one, but I was like, it fixed in line.
Yeah, they also
the fact that it ends badly is like, well, it's in a way it fits. Like, yeah, everything dies.
I thought the third one was pretty weak. Also, considering what happened with Callisto Protocol, it's probably for the best that they're not trying to do more with that series.
I need to watch the rest of that. I was watching Markiplier play it, and I didn't watch the last ending of it. But I don't know. Sometimes I like that stuff for the journey, not to see the end of it and all that.
It's more about the game itself than the story necessarily.
Well, I didn't play it, so I wouldn't know. Like, I think it had a kind of an Arkham Asylum kind of
I mean, I just watched Mandalore Gaming's review on it, but you know, as far as game reviews go, I kind of take his word on stuff. But yeah, it certainly had some issues with it. But, you know, I'm not going to judge too harshly just because I'm not a game developer, so I could certainly say whatever about it, but I guess if there was one thing I could say, it's like apparently there's just a lot of gratuitous animations that don't really help the gameplay and just kind of are annoying to the player after a certain point.
I guess. I don't know. I try not to think too hard on some things. That's when anxiety starts burrowing into your skull.
Oh, boy, is it. Let me tell you. I can talk plenty about that in terms of the shit I deal with.
It's like, I remember when that movie, I forgot, but it was about like the space station getting destroyed. What was it called? Like,
Xenon came out like 21st century.
Probably 10 years ago.
I'd be fucking amazed if anyone gets
but,
that.
there are a lot of scientists saying like this isn't how that would work. This
Oh,
isn't
you're
how
talking
that would
about
work.
gravity. That never mind. Yeah.
Maybe, but it kind of made me think. It's like because I heard this phrase. It's like when you understand a little bit about this kind of science and stuff like this. When you watch a movie, it's hard watching movies like that because you're like, well, that's not how it works, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine watching Star Wars and the only thing you can think about is there's no sound in space, there's no fire in space.
Yeah,
That kind of
what
ruins the movie, doesn't it?
I would call that either a lack of suspension of disbelief or not being a fun person. Take your pick.
Yeah. Well, when I was watching Prometheus and the alien comes out of the guy's chest as a fully formed alien, but like 2 inches tall, and it proceeds to just grow.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there throwing a fit because I'm like, conservation of mass, which I'm not an expert in. So, I mean, Will the Great would probably make fun of me for what I don't know, but still, I'm like, you can't just grow big like that for nothing.
If you look at it the bioweapon angle anyway, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I think a show like The Expanse, I love The Expanse. It's one of my favorite series. I like how it's more like a grounded take on sci-fi, but even
I need to
that
watch
isn't
it.
necessarily quote-unquote realistic. No sci-fi series is completely 100% quote-unquote realistic, because that series that is going to be a boring series. Like, I get people wanting a harder sci-fi to things, but I think that in some ways they're kind of losing the forest for the trees there, where it's like a lot of sci-fi, I think what makes sci-fi good is the same thing that makes, a lot of fantasy good, is the idea of dreaming of something different. In the case of sci-fi, dreaming of a possible better tomorrow world, which, going back to the whole conversation about Artemis earlier, I think is... I think we need those stories of wonder.
Look at how much of our technology came about just because of Star Trek. Like, the cell phone is... Someone saw the communicator and was like, I want to make something like that. Like...
Yeah.
You've seen Galaxy Quest, right?
Yeah.
And the aliens that, they basically watch our shit and they're like, oh, we could do that. Like, I kind of feel like we're like those aliens. It's like... Sometimes it's like we reverse. It's not reverse engineering, but it's like reverse imagining. It's like we see it first, and then we make it happen. Or
I mean, the part I think about is just like how much technology that we have seen come about that was at one point science fiction.
Oh yeah.
Or even the things that have come about that we never even thought of. I mean, it's interesting when you think about, like, in terms of all the sci-fi that there's been, nobody really predicted the internet.
You know what kind of weirds me out is drones. Like, I'm like, excuse me, drones were like sci-fi like not too long ago. Nobody gives a shit that they're around. I was like, do you not understand?
I mean, that's why I brought up the whole thing about the Artemis missions earlier. It's like, I would say there hasn't exactly been nearly as much attention or wonder, at least from my perspective, but I also kind of live under a rock, in terms of the significance of what they're doing.
Have you seen the jet bike races?
The what?
They're literally on like jet bikes and they race around on these damn things. And it's like I'm not joking. They're like
Wait,
the speeders, the speeder bikes from Star Trek or Star Wars?
I think I have seen, actually. Isn't it one of those like 8 propeller drones that
No, it's like, imagine a motorcycle without the wheels. Like, the engine, like, I don't know how it works, to be honest, but it looks like the engine just shoots and they use their tilting thing or something like that. It doesn't have it does not have the typical, like, rotaries on the side like a drone.
Yeah.
It uses like ramjet propulsion or something like that. And they just speed around on these damn things. And they're having races with them, like 4 or 5 of them just racing around in these things, going, super fast. And I'm sitting there like, dude, this is sci-fi shit. How come nobody's throwing a fit about it? It's like, no, we're more interested in this thing over here. Like, drones.
What?
Like, when you saw drones, it used to be in sci-fi. Like, they're usually like surrounded. Like, the best way I can describe it is like the drone cameras. Like, they'd fly around. They'd like like they'd follow a newspaper reporter. It was the cameraman, but it was just a
Well,
drone or something
when
like that.
you think about it, I mean, if we did live in a sci-fi setting, a lot of the things that we would consider amazing, like we do in science fiction, would probably seem just as
to be honest, the cell phone itself, I mean, you got this black slab, you've got this miniature monolith in your hand that can do about anything you want it to do.
Oh yeah,
it can calculate, it reaches the internet, it can play videos for you, you can talk to each other with it, it can run programs, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in our lifetimes, it's just crazy to see
like,
how
it's a literal black slab
progressed.
that looks like a monolith from 2001, and it fits in your hand. I'm like, sometimes I think about it, and I'm like, this is scary.
Yeah, I mean, with any sort of technology, it's less about the technology itself, I want to say, and more about its application, you know?
Yeah.
But that's a whole other conversation.
That's the thing about superheroes, is a lot of superheroes are born from the current new technology that they weren't aware of and maybe scared of, like a lot of them being born from electricity or radiation. You know, radiation was the big thing. I got a dose of radiation and gained superpowers.
Yeah, radiation really was. I mean, it's why we got Godzilla.
It's like that. It's like that one scene of Family Guy where Mayor West is like, "Oh, they got superpowers. I got to get superpowers too." And he rolls around in nuclear waste.
Yeah,
and he's in a doctor, and the doctor says, "Good job, you've got cancer."
Yeah. Well, you know, it's any sort of new technology is going to get that sort of, I want to say, treatment from.
Oh yeah.
You know, fiction.
The one that scared me the most, like the biggest sci-fi thing that scared me was the gray goo or nanites.
Oh, the nano swarm, yeah.
Because my sister read the book. I forgot. I think it was just called the Gray Goo Event or something. But she explained it to me, and I imagined it, and it terrified me. Because like little tiny robots that could basically tear apart things on a molecular level and then place them back together.
Oh yeah, no, it's... See, that more fascinated me than anything. But, you know, I think of things like, you know, obviously AI is kind of the big one where, you know, we were conditioned for many years to be afraid of something like Terminator, but, you know, I don't really see that being the thing that we need to worry about. I think it's more like what Frank Herbert was trying to get at with Dune, where, you know, the reason they got rid of the thinking machines is because they essentially stagnated humanity's progress and growth, and as well, you know, the people that made the technology essentially owned humanity in that instance.
I was watching some, like, you know, memes and stuff on YouTube, and one of them was like, it was a quote. It was like, you know, machine shall not be into the thinking capabilities of man because it will do. And then at the bottom was a post that says, "Dear Grok, could you explain the meaning and underlying meaning of this phrase?" And there was a comment under that that says, "Dear God, I hope he's just joking with this."
I hope he's joking as well, because oh wow.
Of course, there's that other one that's like, Ogre's barely literate. Ogre can barely understand the concept of nationalism, and you know, he's reading these books that most of us can't even read.
Yeah.
Ogre will never understand Finnegan's Wake.
It's
oh yeah, he read Ulysses. He read Ulysses all the way through.
Is Ogre an AI?
No, Ogre is ogre, like an ogre, like a troll.
Oh.
You know, big stupid. You know how we think. You know, ogre big dumb stupid. No, he's like your typical fantasy ogre, but he's holding the book of Ulysses and he just read it. And he's not crying that he can't read it. He's crying because there's like nuances in it that he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
That most of us probably don't understand. That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Finnegan's Wake, but I take from the reference that that's a hard book to read too.
Yeah, well, I'll say I tried reading Charles Dickens and it put me to sleep more than anything. But
my mom had me read that when I was a kid, and I think that's part of why I have depression.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, yeah, little kid gets beaten and slapped around all the time, and like everything that happens to him is just horrible. Oh, thanks, Mom.
What are you trying to say? Yeah. Well, at any rate, it looks like we are coming to the end of stream here. So I think that's where we'll call it for today. You know what? I'll bet you if you looked it up, Sonar, there's definitely examples of sexy gray goo.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that exists. See, you know. I could probably go find some images right now, but I'm not.
The humans have this strange rule.
Oh God, I didn't know there was written literature.
It's a great law. They call it the law of the 32nd or something like that.
Oh God. That's a whole. There's the alien horror story I want to see.
How long do you think it's going to take between like first contact and the first like interplanetary marriage? Like,
I give it about a week. Oh, marriage? Okay, 2 weeks. I would say the first
marriage
week
is 2 weeks. The consummation will be like 2 days.
Oh, see, I was thinking of like the week where the aliens try to kill us because it's like them king shaming humanity.
What that needs to be a movie where like the aliens are trying to kill us, but we just find them so attractive that they have to give up.
Save this idea. Save this
idea.
They
won't fight us. They're too enamored with us.
Oh, I bet you somebody's written a story like that, but I totally make a movie.
Put down your gun, human scum. Hey, how are you doing?
Wait, we're just describing Earth Girls Are Easy, but I digress. At any rate,
like, our skin is resistant to their laser fire. They shoot us. It's like, that tickled. By the way, would you like to go get coffee? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Stop batting your eyes at me.
James T. Kirk probably should have several venereal diseases named after him with all the aliens he slept with, but at any rate, I think we're going to call it here before we get too much on a tangent about alien pregnancies. So, thank you all for joining us this week. I'm glad I could actually have a good stream this week, and my internet was not messy. So, hopefully next week will be more of the same.
Yay!
And Storm Song will probably be back then.
I hope next week we get a certain program running and that we could draw up together.
Yes, there's something I want to try on my streams coming up that would make it a much more group experience, but we will see about setting that up, and that's something to stay tuned for. But until then, we will see you all later.
Take care. Bye.